Thanks for tuning in to the Student Services Leadership Team podcast, where we strive to help students for life after high school and the success in between. Whether it's learning about academics or college and careers, we hope you find the insight you're looking for.
Hello and welcome back to the Sandberg SSLT podcast. I'm your host, Mohammed Attia, and with me is my co-host, Aya Askar. We are super excited and honored to have with us our district's very own Technical and Education Coordinator.
Hi.
For those who don't know what technical education is, it's basically the electives that students can take that relate to family and consumer sciences, technology, engineering classes, and our business education during their time in high school.
So, Ms. Hendricks Foster, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So this is my first year at District 230. Prior to this, I was an assistant principal, and I've done a lot of work over the years in college and career counseling and working with students to try and help them figure out what their jam is after high school. So,
can you give us an overview of what Career and Technical Education Coordinator is?
Sure. So the district decided in the last couple of years that they really wanted students to have some focused assistance in making their decisions about their post-secondary plans. And so part of that is to evaluate the courses we offer as elective courses in District 230. And so my role is to work with the teachers and the division chairs that are working in not only just what you think about as vocational courses, so you're thinking about business classes, automotive, woods, stuff like that. But it's also expanding that to really help students understand that taking these classes prepares you for your next step after high school. And regardless of whether you are going into college or going into the trades, there are a lot of opportunities to take courses while you're still here to develop some skills that will really help you once you graduate.
Thank you so much, Ms. Foster. The next question would be, how do you support students in these different types of electives?
So something that I think is really important is to make sure that our counseling team and all of our faculty and staff are aware of the courses that exist so that they can make sure that you guys know what classes exist. If you don't know, then it's hard to make the choice. It's also then hard to make a choice to, like, why would I take an AP class over the second level of a fashion class, for instance, if that's one of my passions? Well, sometimes you got to think about what your plan is after high school. And so by having everybody on the same page about what courses we offer and what programs exist, it really is supposed to help the students make a really logical decision. But then also try and find something that you guys really want to explore while you're here. And so that's what we're doing as a team, is we're looking at what other programs would be a really important thing to add to the menu of things we offer in District 230.
Okay, thank you for that. And then why and how beneficial is it for students to take family and consumer sciences, technology and engineering education, and or business education during their time in high school?
So regardless of which direction you go after high school, whether you're going into a 2 or a 4-year college situation, or you're just going into employment, or even you're looking for more on-the-job training or short-term training, such as like a certificate program or an associate's degree in something specialized, it really helps you to have an idea when you take it in high school to figure out, is this my jam or not, before you spend thousands of dollars. The other really cool thing is if you are taking courses in business, like computers, woods, and auto, things like that, especially where it's hands-on, you get a really good idea in high school, again, if you're interested in it or not. And so then it can help you make that decision about your next step after high school while you're still here. So then you don't spend time either figuring out, well, this is not what I want to do, or you don't spend a lot of money to do that. Sometimes you could also think, oh, I'm really interested in auto body. So then instead of going to maybe a 4-year college for something that your family is pushing you to do, or is maybe just not exactly the direction you want to go, let's say your passion is auto. So then you could go into a direct training program through a variety of companies. Like there are a lot of companies, for instance, Mercedes-Benz, BMW. There are a lot of dealers that will actually pay for your education. So it is often still through a college or community college. It can also be through a specialty training organization. But bottom line, if you know that you want that type of specialty education, knowing that starting in high school is really helpful in that path.
Okay, thank you. What are the different types of classes in this field of study?
So we have a ton of different programs in District 230. We have everything from family and consumer science, as you mentioned, and that pathway covers fashion and interior design, culinary arts, things of that nature. Then we also have business, where students can pursue entrepreneurship, marketing, accounting careers. There is also wood shop, which you have a couple of options between just more woods focused, so building things with wood, but then you also have math and construction, which is a class primarily for juniors and seniors where you are understanding the practical applications of mathematics while you're actually building something with your hands. It's pretty cool. A lot of the things they've built so far are picnic tables and sheds. So you guys have probably seen those around campus. So that team has done that. There's also computer classes and a multitude of other options. But these are just, some of the programs we offer.
Okay, hopefully that helped students see the different variety. A lot of students usually take the required classes during their time in high school, such as math, English, social studies, and science. How can career and technical build on students' knowledge?
So it really helps you guys take the knowledge that you are gaining in your core academic classes and apply it to a real-world application. So, for instance, let's say that you have learned measurement and things in chemistry. Obviously, you have that knowledge, but you might not understand, okay, how can this translate to baking, right? Because baking is chemistry. You might not realize that, but if you understand acids and bases and things of that nature, when you are in a baking situation, you will understand, okay, if I add baking soda to this recipe, is that going to puff up the cookie or is it going to make it flat? So there's a lot of different things that I think students just don't really understand that is applicable when you're in these type of classes. So if you are really trying to figure out how you can apply the knowledge you learn in your core classes, is this going to make any relevant? Is this going to be relevant to me at all once I graduate? Take a career and technical ed class, because then you will figure out, oh, wow, it is relevant. This is really cool. So the other piece too, we are desperately in need of really solid teachers, especially teachers of color, teachers with a variety of backgrounds and cultural perspectives. And a really cool program we have in all of our buildings is our early childhood education. We have a preschool in all of our buildings. And we actually have teachers that are students, and they work with these little kids to really help them, figure out, oh, this is how I do school. It's their very first introduction to being a kid in a school setting. So I've spent a lot of time in those spaces the last few weeks, and it's super fun. The little kids are so cute. But our student teachers are matched with a student, and they're really able to kind of guide a really positive first school experience. So it's important, and I think it's cool that students in high school are able to have the opportunity to make a difference.
Thinking for the future, how can this benefit the average high school student?
So I think just that opportunity to kind of wade into the shallow end of a career is really a cool opportunity. It gives you guys a chance to, again, determine if this really is something that you're interested in. It also then can kind of give you some ammo if you're trying to say, okay, so I'm going to I want to make this amount of money when I graduate, and I want to have this type of lifestyle. Okay, so then when you experience these type of careers, especially if it's an area of passion, then you can have a conversation with your teacher and say, okay, so I'm really interested in this. What are some career options that I have in this field? And roughly how much money am I going to make? And your career and technical education teacher can guide you to understand all of those details. And as we kind of get to the point of graduating high school, we're all in that, we're going to have to be adults now situation. So sometimes it's really fun to be able to have that guidance before you actually have launched into adulthood and have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, and then tagging back to that question, thinking about after high school, how can these classes broaden the scope while they're going into college or the trades?
There are a lot of these courses that offer dual credit opportunities, which is super cool. Because then if you are going into either college or a career-based trade training program, you may already have earned credit toward the training program that you are pursuing. So not only will that save you money, it'll save you time. So it's a really great opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Foster, for telling us about these interesting classes and how they make an impact on students. Make sure to listen to all of our future and past podcasts on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, or check out our Instagram and Twitter at SSLT_Sandberg to find new information. Check out our website. Link can be found in our Instagram bio.